Imagine stepping into a grand Baroque cathedral for the very first time. The air is cool, heavy with incense, and your eyes are instantly drawn upward, dazzled by ceilings that seem to explode into heaven itself. The walls shimmer with gold, marble, and dramatic shadows. Angels twist and swirl in stucco, while painted figures soar from frescoes as if gravity itself had been suspended. But here's the secret: none of this is just decoration. Every curve, every statue, every painted illusion hides a message, a code from the past, whispering across centuries, waiting for us to listen. Welcome to the world of hidden messages in Baroque architecture. Today, we're diving deep into the art, the secrets, and the symbols that shaped an entire era of human imagination. Stay with me, because once you see these signs, you'll never look at Baroque architecture the same way again. The Baroque era, born in late 16th century Rome and spreading across Europe, wasn't just about beauty, it was about persuasion, it was about power. After the shock of the Protestant Reformation, the Catholic Church needed to win hearts and souls back. And what better way than through architecture that overwhelms you, that captivates you, that speaks not just to your intellect, but directly to your senses? Baroque buildings were theaters of faith. They weren't just churches or palaces, they were carefully choreographed experiences designed to pull you into a story. And like any good story, they had layers of meaning under the surface. Take, for example, the Church of Il Gesù in Rome, the mother of Baroque churches. At first glance, you see its dramatic facade, with columns that almost seem to move as you walk past. But inside, the ceiling by Giovanni Battista Galli explodes into a vision of the Last Judgment. Figures tumble from heaven to hell, light bursts into shadow. And yet, if you look closely, you'll see how the perspective tricks your eye. The architecture and the painting fuse so completely that you can't tell where the real world ends and the divine vision begins. That was deliberate. The Jesuits wanted to remind you that the boundary between earth and heaven was fragile, that salvation was within reach. If you follow the right path, that's not just decoration, that's symbolism in stone and paint. And it wasn't just the Jesuits. Across Europe, rulers, bishops, and nobles used Baroque architecture to project authority, wealth, and divine favor. Walk into St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, redesigned under Michelangelo and finished by Gian Lorenzo Bernini. And you're not just walking into a church, you're stepping into a cosmic stage set. Bernini's Baldachin, that massive bronze canopy over the altar, isn't just there to impress. Its twisted columns echo the ancient Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem, linking the papacy to the Old Testament. Hidden in its design are bees, the symbol of the Barberini family, who sponsored the work. Even the details of the marble floor align you with the central axis, guiding your body and your spirit toward the heart of the Catholic faith. Everything was intentional. Let's move north to Bavaria, to the Weiskirch, a Rococo jewel that still carries Baroque DNA. From the outside, it seems humble, almost plain, but step inside and the ceiling dissolves into a heavenly illusion where painted angels soar on invisible clouds. The hidden message? That the church, modest on earth, reveals its true glory within. The way faith itself transforms the humble into the divine. It's a theater of contrast, designed to shock you with its revelation. But not all Baroque messages were strictly religious. Let's visit Versailles in France, the ultimate statement of royal power. Louis XIV, the Sun King, wasn't just building a palace, he was building a cosmos, a universe with himself at the center. The gardens align with the rising and setting sun. The Hall of Mirrors doesn't just reflect light, it reflects his glory multiplied endlessly. The very architecture screams, "The King is the Sun." And you, dear visitor, orbit around him. Every fountain, every axis, every mythological statue was a coded message reinforcing his divine right to rule. Hidden messages weren't just about faith, they were about control. Now, here's something fascinating. Baroque artists often used illusions, tricks of perspective, hidden alignments, and secret geometries. One of the best examples is in Rome at the Church of San Ignazio. If you step inside, the dome looks glorious, soaring above you. But here's the twist, there is no dome. It's a flat ceiling, painted with perfect perspective. Andrea Pozzo, the Jesuit artist, created this illusion to fool the eye, reminding visitors that faith can make you see what isn't there, that the spiritual world is just as real as the material one. But even more fascinating, if you stand in the wrong spot, the illusion collapses, only by standing in the right place, literally aligning yourself with the church. Can you see the full vision? That's not just art, that's theology carved into space. Let's not forget about secret symbols hidden in plain sight. In Prague's St. Nicholas Church, you'll find cherubs holding instruments, but also compasses, globes, and books. Why? Because the Jesuits believed that science and faith weren't enemies. They were two paths to the same truth. Baroque architecture often encoded this harmony between knowledge and belief, wrapping it in allegory that only the observant could fully understand. The buildings became textbooks in stone, teaching lessons through imagery, proportion, and hidden detail. Another layer of Baroque symbolism lies in light and shadow. The architects were obsessed with directing light, creating hidden windows that illuminated altars at just the right moment of the day, or designing chapels where golden rays seemed to beam directly from heaven. Bernini's masterpiece, The Ecstasy of St. Teresa in Rome's Cornaro Chapel, glows with hidden light. Behind the sculpture, a concealed window pours sunlight onto gilded rays, making the divine vision come alive. To the visitor, it seems like a miracle, but to the architect, it was geometry and planning, a human mastery of light harnessed to suggest divine presence. What's truly striking is how Baroque symbolism worked on multiple levels. For the common worshiper, it was overwhelming beauty that inspired awe. For the educated elite, it was layered allegory, references to classical mythology, to church history, to family emblems. Imagine walking through a Baroque palace. You'd see ceilings filled with gods and goddesses. But if you knew your myths, you'd decode messages about the ruler's power, virtues, or political alliances. It was propaganda wrapped in poetry. Even outside Europe, Baroque architecture carried hidden messages. In Latin America, indigenous artisans fused Baroque styles brought by missionaries with their own traditions. In the Church of San Lorenzo in Potosí, Bolivia, you'll find floral carvings that look European from afar, but up close, they include native plants and animals, coded reminders of a culture that refused to vanish. The hidden message here was resistance, survival through symbolism, smuggled into the very walls of a colonial church. Now, why does this matter today? Because once you learn to see, you realize these buildings aren't just relics, they're messages across time. The architects, the patrons, the artists, they all conspired to leave a trail of clues for us. Walk through Rome, Paris, Munich, or Mexico City, and the city becomes a giant puzzle, each church or palace whispering secrets. And suddenly, architecture becomes alive. It speaks, it tells stories. So the next time you find yourself under a painted dome, or standing in a gilded chapel, ask yourself, what am I really looking at? Is this just beauty, or is there a code waiting for me to break it? Baroque architecture wasn't just about overwhelming the senses. It was about guiding the soul, shaping belief, and broadcasting power. The hidden messages are there, carved into marble, painted into frescoes, aligned with the stars. All you have to do is look. And maybe, just maybe, that's the true legacy of Baroque art. Not the gold, not the grandeur, but the challenge it poses to us, to look deeper, to decode, to never accept what we see at face value. Because once you unlock the hidden messages, the world itself transforms into a living, breathing text, and that is the real magic of Baroque architecture. If you enjoyed watching, be sure to hit that like button. It truly makes a difference for the channel. Pass this video along to a friend who enjoys a great mystery. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that so you don't miss what's coming next. There's still so much to explore, and I'd love to have you join me for it.